What was that?
Okay. Well, we get to. I'm reading now, and okay, I think we're good to move forward with things. But let me break down while we figure some things out here behind the scenes of
All right.
just the news that happened over the break, right? So John Siedler taking over as control person, and I saw a lot of confusion about this online, and maybe Kutsenda giving it up or whatever. And I thought maybe I'd just provide some context on a control person in MLB, and then we can take it where we want to go with this conversation, right? So, when Peter Siedler tragically passed unexpectedly, he was the control person. Before him, Ron Fowler was the control person, and the control person has to have 15% of the team, at least a 15% stake. There's only so many people that have that. For the Padres, it's only people that are within that Siedler trust or Alfredo Harp Helú, who is the owner of the team in Mexico and who has been a big part of the Padres since they bought the team back in 2012, since Ron Fowler and Peter Siedler did, and maybe even before, I can't remember. But you have to have at least 15%. And when he unexpectedly passed, there was confusion at the time, let's call it that, over who is going to be the control person. Who is that going to go to, right? And what happened was Eric Kutsenda was granted an exemption from Major League Baseball. So he doesn't have 15% in the Padres.
Right.
But they needed someone to run the team. They needed someone to step in as that control person. And this was Peter Seidler's right-hand man. This was a guy that he trusted. This was a guy he did business with. And this is a guy who has financial prowess and business sense and understands, how to kind of make these machinations work. And so I think the hate for Eric Kutsenda, and this is me side, I'm walking on a different sidewalk right now. It confuses me because he really was asked to leave his life and his job and come in and step in and help the Padres through a period in which they did not have a control person because that didn't get settled within the family. And he did that, and he did it well. I mean, I think that there's a lot of looking at Eric Kutsenda saying, well, you cut the payroll. No. All that was going to happen regardless. All that was going to go on. All right? This was already the direction it was moving in. Eric Kutsenda just worked with Major League Baseball and what they were needing and worked with the Padres and what he knew Peter wanted and that whole dream and tried to find a happy medium, right? So the story comes out, Kevin Acey of the Union Tribune, over the break while we were off, that John Siedler now has control of the control person. Sorry, and now he is one of Peter's brothers. Okay, and someone with whom it sounds like Eric Kutsenda is also staying on board. So when you get that kind of information, right, it's like you don't really know how much is going to change, how much isn't going to change, right? So I think that's what we were dealing with coming in here. In that it's one of those things where John could have been the control person last year. But because they couldn't quite get that settled, Eric Kutsenda stepped in. Now there's going to be some familiarity with him staying on board and at least lending a hand, it sounds like, as a consultant or something. And you're going to have John Siedler stepping in as the brother who's going to take control person. That means you could be a very hands-on control person. You can be a not hands-on control person at all. We already know Eric Grupner's staying. That was in the article. AJ Preller's staying. That was in the article. You would expect things to mostly stay the same, right? Can we go any further into things right now? Great.
So listen, folks, and we get it. And this is part of the gig, right? We're on the air, we're on live, and we also, work for a company. A company has an association with the club. And as such, we've been waiting for the go-ahead to be able to, and also how we are allowed to address the situation that started kind of right around when the show began, which is a lawsuit has been filed in court. Everything, Annie, that you just discussed is all the news that was up until...
It leads you to this point.
Yeah, till 10 o'clock today, right? Until this morning, that was the story. New control owner, here's what was what. With Kutsenda, here's what is what. However, Sheel Sidler, the widow of Peter Siedler, has filed a lawsuit against the control owner and against the Siedler brothers. She made a statement that she released on Twitter. We have the ability to read that statement, and here it is. To Padres fans, Earlier today, I filed a complaint against Matthew Siedler and Robert Siedler to protect my family and continue to carry out Peter's legacy. Aside from our 3 wonderful children and our marriage, there was nothing Peter and I valued more than the opportunity to serve as stewards of this extraordinary franchise. For more than a decade, we put our heart and soul into its success, and those who saw our shared commitment up close know it was a true partnership every step of the way. And so, as the holder of the largest individual ownership stake in the San Diego Padres and the sole beneficiary of the Siedler trusts, which possess exclusive rights with respect to control of the franchise, I am seeking to be named the control person for the Padres. The complaint alleges claims against Matthew and Robert for breaches of fiduciary duty and fraud. I would urge anyone who is interested in the details to read the full complaint. A lot of it is circulating on social media. A lot of it you can find. Now I continue. This is Sheel Sidler's statement. This was not a decision I made lightly. During this difficult period, I have done everything in my power to avoid unwanted distractions and resolve the matter privately. I have focused on supporting the work of the many dedicated professionals within the Padres organization, as well as the incredible players we have the privilege of watching nearly every day throughout the season. I made this decision as a very last resort, but I am confident it is the right one and the best way to protect the Padres franchise and ensure the vision that Peter and I shared for the team to continue. For the past 13 years, you, the Padres fans, the best and most passionate in baseball, and the San Diego community have shown such incredible kindness to me, our children, and of course, Peter. While the children and I feel Peter's absence every day, our collective devotion to this team is stronger than ever. Peter and I always planned one day to leave the team to the children. That remains my steadfast commitment. In the meantime, it is my intention to build upon the many recent successes, investing in both the short-term and the long-term future of the franchise and ensuring our dream of multiple championships is fulfilled. I do not wish to litigate this matter in public, but rest assured I will do what it takes to protect my children, Peter's legacy, and this remarkable ball club. I look forward to a quick resolution so that we can, together, continue the work ahead with gratitude. Sheel. That was Sheel Sidler's statement. The Padres have issued their statement, which is as follows. We do not comment on pending legal matters.
Which is their right. And I think it's important to point out here, too,